privileged to introduce my colleague, Dr. Meena Bhatia, to you. She is a PhD in finance. She also holds FCMA, CFA, MBA, and comes from a commerce background. She's got more than 2 decades of experience in academia and in industry, and she has also taught other than BIMTech in IIFT, IMT Ghaziabad, Bombay Stock Exchange Institute, and also in a Bradford University, UK. So she has delivered her research in Harvard University, University of London, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Delhi, IIT Kharagpur, IIM Lucknow, and a lot of other places. So she is very passionate about your management development program and has delivered a series of programs in various private and public organizations like NTPC, NLC, Power Finance Corporation, and a lot of others. Ma'am, all yours.
Thank you so much, Girish sir. I extend a very warm welcome to all the participants here. I hope all of you enjoyed your session with Professor Malhotra and the first session that you had with him. So I'll be continuing with financial accounting. Before I start, we all are from BIMTech, and it would have been pleasure to have you here at our campus, but we all know because of the circumstances that we are in, we are doing this as an online program. Else, we had always welcomed a lot of participants coming from many institutions to our organization. And also, our area is very proud of the fact that we very regularly conduct a lot of management development programs also. So we get to see a lot of executives over here. So we have a facility wherein these people come and stay and do a residential program with us. Before I start, a quick thing that I like to check, because I've not attended Professor Malhotra's session. So I thought maybe you can give me a quick summary in the chat window, just one statement as to what was your major learning. All right, one statement coming out of each one of you. Major learning from the first session. Kindly use the chat window. You can write that down in the chat window. Okay. Okay. So when you say basics on accounting, what is that thing that you learned in the basics? A logical approach, wonderful. Accounting equation, good. I'm going to build on that. Okay. Basic accounting for different entities. Financial statements. Okay. So Hina, you now know how to prepare financial statements. My job seems to be half done, because that's what I thought I'll be doing in my session. Okay, never mind. We will do a case study and we'll see how much do you know. Okay, how to categorize forms and what are assets and liabilities. Very good. Okay, which is fine. Great. Okay, you'd like to add some more? Yeah, VG, will you like to add something here? Current and fixed assets. Very good. Great. Okay, so can I assume you have some basic understanding of terminology? Though we will keep doing these basics, we'll build on that further. Since Malhotra sir has done a lot of groundwork for me already, I'm going to build on that. I shared a small case study with all of you. Have you all received it? I posted it in the chat window also a while back. I don't mind posting it here again. And my request to you is, it's a one pager. It's not a huge long case study. It's just I have reposted it, Hina. So case study is state of Baron-Coburg. One page, giving you 4-5 minutes to read it. And then let's apply whatever you've learned in Professor Malhotra's session. And also I'll keep adding to those concepts, right? So giving you 5 minutes, it's 12 o'clock. So 12:05 till 12:05, kindly read it. And, whatever you understand from there, just write it down on a sheet of paper. And then we'll start discussing about it, okay? Vinuthani, I don't know, I'm pronouncing that name correctly or not, but there I have posted it thrice, the case study. You just need to click on that and you will be able to open it. Look at the chat window where I've posted it. I'll send me your email ID and I'll send it to you. Why don't you just post your email ID here?
The case, I believe, has been emailed also to us.
Yeah, it was emailed yesterday, but I don't mind sending it across once again if you have not received it. In fact, I emailed it to you.
Ma'am,
Have a
thank
look.
you, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Shall we start discussing in case you have read or you need more time to read it?
Can we have 2-3 minutes more, ma'am?
Oh, how many minutes? 2 minutes?
Yeah, at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we start now? Yes. Okay, I've received one yes. Kindly confirm rest of the people, please. Pavit, shall we start?
Still, I was in the last paragraph, ma'am.
Okay, please carry on. Hina, rest of the people can confirm, please.
स्ट्रक्चर बना लेना और वाइड बेस से स्टार्ट करना मैं एक भी नहीं किया करती हूँ पापा को सर फोन दे ट्वेंटी और क्लास होना 12:20 और क्लास
Megha, can you please put yourself on mute? Megha ji, all right, thank you. Dr. Sneha, shall we start now? Okay. Pavit, is it all right if I start now?
Sure, ma'am.
You have read it. Okay, so a very small case study which is talking about farming, right? A piece of farm given to two peasants, right? So the final question, a very simple question, which one did better, right? So this is the question. Of the two, Ivan or Frederick? This is what we have to answer from this particular case study. Right. So before we start writing down the points as to how will we, answer this question, first thing is there's one major weakness in this particular case. That is, the currency is not given. Normally, whenever you do a case study in a class, especially of accounting finance, there will be a currency given to you that these many rupees or these many dollars, right? That is missing, right? So what we will do is we will decide what currency are we going to use. Okay. So if you've read the case, I'm sure you'll be able to identify that almost all information is specified in certain currency, right? Not currency as in rupees or dollar, as I said, but is specified in a certain manner, right? So if you look at seed or fertilizer or flow or any of the other things that mentioned, what do you think is the currency here that you'll use? Because once you're adding the information down, it has to be in the common denomination, right? So if you can write down what is the currency that you like to use in this particular case. Yes, please. Yes, anyone? What's the currency?
You're asking us what is the currency that we would like to use it?
Use, yeah, absolutely correct.
They had mentioned something in bushels or something, no, ma'am.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're absolutely correct. I was waiting for this answer. So at many places, if you see, they have written the information in bushels of wheat, right? So when they're talking about bushels of wheat, we can write wheat. We can write all the information in this particular case in bushels of wheat, right? So we are going to use that as a currency, right? Also, what is your first response after reading? Yes, Professor. Yeah. Okay, so I thought you want to say something, but anyways, bushels of wheat is what we are going to use. Now, the question is, which one did better? So how will you like to answer this question? You have to pick one person, Ivan or Frederick. You've read the case study. What do you think who has done a better job here?
I feel it is Ivan, ma'am.
Okay, why don't you mention it in the chat box so we'll get to know how many votes we have for Ivan and how many do we have for Frederick. Okay, Hina says Ivan. Ashwini, Dr. Ashwini is also saying Ivan. Okay, all right. I'm glad that there are people who are writing for Frederick as well. All right, so I've got 5 responses, 6 now. Yes. Yes. Dr. Pragya, there is a background noise coming from your side, please. Okay, so we have mixed response here, right? Great. Okay, so we have quite a lot of people, half and half. If I can say, looking at the data, that half of you picked up Ivan and half have picked up Frederick. Now, how do we address this particular question? We will use what you've learned from Professor Malhotra. And yes, I will also add my bit to that. Right. So let's first of all just focus on the first 3 paragraphs. Right. So in the first 3 paragraphs, the information provided to you is what is it that the Baron is giving to both Ivan and Frederick. Right. So let's prepare the list of items. I'm going to share my screen. Right. I hope my screen is visible. Is this visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we are focusing on this right now. And the situation is this, right? He's a feudal landlord, owner of many lands, you know, thinking of distributing this land amongst Frederick and Ivan, right? And this is how he has distributed it. Right? He has 30 acres of land, and in the case study it says 1 acre of land is equal to 150 bushels of wheat, right? And which has been distributed like this: 20 acres to Ivan and 10 acres of land, which is equivalent to 50 bushels of wheat, to Frederick. Are we all right till here? Have we all understood till here that how the land has been distributed? We know about it? Yes? Yes, Parag, do we know about it? Okay, great. Fine. So if we know about this, now what my request to you, all of you, is that based on paragraph number 3, you will prepare list of resources given to Ivan and Fred. Prepare a list of resources, please. Just have a list, whether they were given seed or fertilizer or land or ox, or just stay with day number 1. Okay, so we are only and only talking about in Indian system 1st April. So we all know that the financial year is 1st April to 31st March. So currently I'm only and only talking about 1st April. Okay, so day 1, right? I'm not talking about day 2, 3, 4, and 5 or a growing season. I'm not talking. I'm just saying, what is it that was given by Barwin to Ivan and Frederick? Can you prepare a list from the case study, please? Giving you some time to do that. And once you've done, if you can please post it on the chat window. People, we are going to use chat window really a lot, right? Because there are many participants and we want to listen from all of you. Please write your responses on the chat window. Dr. Murthy, you've written Ivan 62 bushels of wheat. This is for what? Seed, fertilizer, what? I just want the list. Seed, so many bushels, fertilizer, so many, if you can list them down.
Okay,
including
okay.
the land. Okay, including the land.
Okay. Land also. Thank you.
we are not talking about the harvest right now. All I'm talking about is list of resources given to both. Have a separate list for I1 and a separate list for Frederick. All right. Like Pavat has just posted land 100 bushels, seed 20 bushels, fertilizer 2 bushels. And yes, ox is missing. You're right. If you can also include ox, have that list for both I1 as well as Frederick. Ox is not 3. Ox is worth 40 bushels of wheat. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. I have received quite a few responses here. So others also kindly post it. Are we all done with preparing the list of resources? Should I share my screen again so that, you know, we are on the same page?
Ma'am, I had one question.
Yeah, Laksha, please go ahead.
Ma'am, as Anuj has rightly pointed that the oxen is good for 10 years worth 40 bushels of wheat. So how do we distribute it for one spring?
Right now, as
Okay.
I said, we are not answering that question, Laksha. Let's stay with the question. Question is, what is the amount of resources given? I will surely answer that question. What if I've already used it for 1 year?
Oh.
Right. So first question first, what is the list of resources given and their values? Just write that down. And then I'm going to answer that question that you've just raised. Very important question. We will be answering that as well. Fine, I can see people responding. Very good. All right, so we have prepared the list, right? So let me go back to my presentation again, and let's look at my list, which is pretty much similar to what you've prepared. All right, so this is the list that you've posted. In accounting and finance, it is very important that whenever we are preparing these lists, we are very clear about which date are we talking about. Okay, so that's why I've written very clearly list of the resources given at the start of the growing season. And as I said, I'm assuming this to be 1st April because that's what, you know, this case doesn't provide that. But let's, if I have to give a date, hypothetically, let's assume it's 1st April. All right. And these are the resources very correctly pointed out by a lot of you. I1 was given 20-acre plot of ground, which is equivalent to 100 bushels of wheat. Given 20 bushels of wheat for seed, 2 bushels of wheat worth fertilizer, and ox is 40. Right. So here we have list of 4 things given to both of them, and values are of course different. So 100 for I1 here, 50 for Frederick over here, 20 and 10 and 2 and 1 and 40 and 40. So this is what is given. Any questions so far? Is this list fine with all of us or not? If you can say yes, or this list is fine.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. Yes. All right. So if this is fine, what we'll do now with this list is what Professor Malhotra taught you. That is, we will convert this list of items that we have into an accounting equation. Okay. So these are all assets given by a baron to these two peasants, right? So now what we'll do is we'll convert into an accounting equation. All right. Just to revise the concept, accounting equation is, what is accounting equation? Assets are equivalent to
Liability plus net worth.
liabilities plus net worth. Very well. Okay, so if I write that down over here, going to share a blank Excel sheet so that all our working is reflected over here. So you very correctly pointed out assets are equivalent to liabilities plus net worth. Okay. So in this case, we have all the assets given to us. 4 kinds of assets, you picked them up very correctly. So I am copying that list over here. These are my list of assets given. Fine. And if I'm just increasing this size so that it is visible to all of you well. Is this visible now properly? Here. This is better, I hope. So now that this list is there, land, seed, fertilizer, and ox. And you do have values of all of this, right? So if you can add them up and tell me how much is it coming to. You already written on the chat window, I think. 162 mentioned for I1, yes.
For
Yes.
Frederick, it's 101.
101, perfect. 162 and 101. So we do have list of assets and we do have their values. And other thing that we know is in this particular case, this is 0, right? As of now, there are no borrowings, right? So just to repeat the concept, when I talk about assets, these are the resources that the company or an organization owns and will get benefit out of these in future. Very, very simple thing. Things that you own which will give you benefit in future. That are assets. Liabilities are all our borrowed money. Could be money, or you could have, maybe borrowed goods and payment of which is yet to be made. Okay. And this is something which is called own money. So from where are the what are the major 2 sources of funds? Very, very simple. There are 2 sources only, that is debt, other word, debt, and this is equity. And we use many terms like that, equity, share, capital. This is one term also, and we use many such terms, right? So basically, what are we saying? This is from where the money is coming in, right? Inflow of money, right? Which is also called sources of finance. कहाँ से आता है पैसा? या तो आप अपनी जेब से लगाते हैं या आप उधार. In a very simple term, from where does the money comes in? Either you borrow money or you invest your own money. Normally you mix the both, and that is what is called debt and equity. And this is our application of money. This is what we do with the money. Okay. So that's how this is very beautiful equation, because a lot of accounting, in fact, almost all of accounting is dependent upon this, right? So application of money is assets. We have written land. Let's give it a value which you've already given, right? It was 100. And how much was the seed? I'm referring to my presentation here, 100, 22 and 4. 100, 22 and 4. 20, 2 and 40. This is for I1, and similarly, you can do it for Frederick, 50, 10, 1 and 40. Okay. And if we sum them up, I'll get the total. Okay. And so now we have something called with this resources opening balance sheet ready. Right. And since our liability is 0, I can safely say if of A is equals to L plus net worth, my L is 0, it means my net worth is 162. Right? And same for Frederick. This is 0 and this is 101. Right? So if I share with the help of this, the opening balance sheet that I have created with the help of this opening resources given to me, right? What will I have? These balance sheets. Have a look at this. This is A is equals to L plus C is nothing but balance sheets. Okay. So assets 20, 2, 40, 100. Total is 162 for I1. And similarly for Frederick, seed, fertilizer, ox and land. I've written Barron's equity. Other thing you must notice is how am I naming these balance sheets? I'm saying opening balance sheet, not of I1. I'm writing for a plot work by I1. Why not of I1? Because he's working there. He doesn't own this assets. All this belongs to Baron Cabot. Right? In fact, it is his balance sheet which is divided into 2 here. Right? So adding them up, 162, 162 on both the sides. Now building on the concepts which Malhotra sir taught you, if you look at these 4 assets over here, seed and fertilizer, you intend to consume within the harvesting season. You'll sow all the seeds, you'll use fertilizer, and these 2 will be consumed or used. But while you compare the first 2 with the second 2, that is ox and land have a longer period of life. Ox is given to you 10 years and land we know that has unlimited life. All right. So looking at the life of an asset, we know that seed and fertilizer in this case are current assets. Okay. Seed and fertilizer both are current assets. And our ox and land are non-current assets, right? So non-current asset, other term that we use for that is long-term. And also we use, oh, there is a background noise coming from somewhere. Can you put it on mute? Ravindra ji, there is a background noise coming from your side. Can you please put yourself on mute? Professor Ravindra. Professor Ravindra, can you hear me? Professor Ravindra? Okay, he stopped talking, but can you please put yourself on mute? Okay, so we have these two categories of assets and we have created an opening balance sheet. I hope we are fine so far with this. Are we okay with this so far? Yes or a no? These two opening balance sheets that we have prepared.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Yes? Okay, so now what next? What we'll do now is we've only read a part of the case that is till first, second, third paragraph. We've only addressed till there. We have read the whole case, but I've addressed only first 3 paragraphs. Now, my request to you is the way you prepared the list of resources given at the beginning, kindly prepare a list of resources returned by Ivan and Frederick to Baron. All right. So from 1st April now, I'm telling you to straight away jump to 31st March. All right. So on that date, and again, my advice to you is just stay with 31st March, not on 30th, not on 20th. Situation might be very different on earlier days, right? So just stay with 31st March and write all your list of resources. Madhavi, are you around?
I think the host can,
Yeah, I
if
was just
somebody's
looking for that.
making
That how
disturbance.
do I put him on mute? I cannot put him on mute from here. Madhavi can, our FDP person. I'll just call her up and tell her to do it. Meanwhile, can you all please prepare the list of resources for, as at the closing date, please? Okay. I hope you all preparing that list of resources. Yes, Anuj. Absolutely. I request others also to kindly post their lists here. Yes, please. Are you posting the lists? Yes, Lakshya has written they also owed three. Who owed 3 bushels of wheat? They both or one of them? Ivan or Frederick? Who owes that money?
Only Ivan.
Okay, only Ivan. That's right. So Anuj has written 223 bushels of wheat for Ivan. How much is it for Frederick? How many bushels of wheat for Frederick? Yes. I'm sharing my screen and I hope you all have prepared the list. Have you all? Or you're still working on it? Yeah, Dr. Ashwani, Dr. Shweta, can I hear your answers, please? I'm going to share my screen now. Right, I hope this is visible. So these are the opening balance sheets that we prepared. And I'd asked you to prepare this list of the resources returned to the Great Hall, as it clearly mentioned in the 4th paragraph. First statement is the summer came and went, and after the harvest, Ivan and Frederick returned to the Great Hall to account to their master for the things given to them in the spring. Right? So here's my list of resources that were returned. In Ivan's case, slightly used ox. It says slightly used. In Frederick case, a partially used ox. Ivan, a broken plow, and to be very specific, not beyond repair, it says. Okay, so the value is over. A plow is still there in case of Frederick. Ivan's case, 223 bushels were given on that particular date, right? And in case of Frederick, 105 bushels of wheat returned by Frederick, right? and Ivan owed 3 bushels of wheat for the plow, whereas Frederick has given that amount to Fedor already. He took 20 bushels of wheat for personal use, and in case of Frederick, Baron took 30 bushels of wheat for personal use, and they have both used all of his seeds and fertilizer. Right? So let's go back to our Excel sheet and try. Yes, let's try to put it across in a balance sheet. Okay. So this is how Ivan's balance sheet looked like at the beginning. Right. So I'm going to insert a column here and take your views about what needs to be included in here. Right. And we'll add certain rows because few assets have been added. Right. So going by the land, this was, as I said at the beginning, right? And this I'm talking about at the end, right? So now that the growing season has already happened, harvesting has already been done, tell me what is the value of land?
It is
Is
same.
the value of land same, change, gone down,
Same.
gone, same? So I write 100. Yes. For seed, it says we have consumed all of the seeds. So can I
Zero.
safely write 0? Thank you. Thank you. Same for fertilizer. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Yes. How about ox?
How can we that slightly or partially used?
Very good. So that was just use of English. Rather than focusing on English, let's focus on the life that is given, that is for an asset. If you notice, they've given you 10 years of life, right? And you've used it for 1 year already. So I'm going to introduce a concept right now. If you've used it for 1 year, tell me how much is the value of ox that you're using every year? If 40
4.
is the value and
4.
10 is the life, 4, you're using it
Yeah.
for 4? Perfect. So can I write 40 minus, and I'm writing in brackets, can I write over here 36? What I've done is, for explaining it, let me just write few things here. Okay. 40 is the original cost at which we bought it. Original cost. Okay. And 4 is the amount of depreciation. Depreciation in a very simple term, what is the value of an asset that you've consumed this year? All right. It may be because of wear and tear, usage, or maybe because of time. The chair is just lying here, even if you don't sit on it, it gets old and the value goes down. All right. 4 is that depreciation. And the value that you get out of deducting depreciation, so original cost, I'm writing a short form, original cost less depreciation will give you something called book value. So what is the book value of this asset as on date? It is 36. We have deducted depreciation out of this. I mean, this is what Anuj was raising at the beginning. Right? How do we account for that? Next year, what will we do? We'll further reduce 4 and the value will be 32. So as in when you keep using an asset or because of time, the value will keep on going down. Only asset on which it doesn't apply is land. Right? In land also, in certain cases, it might apply in case of, say, mining. You've already extracted, a limestone or a bauxite or an iron ore out of a mine, and the value of that mine is going down. Then it can happen. Otherwise, the size of the land doesn't reduce, it remains as it is. Therefore, in that case, we do not apply depreciation. Is this fine? Fine so far? Kindly confirm, otherwise
Yes,
it
ma'am.
seems very
Yes, ma'am.
difficult. Yeah. Okay, so I'm freezing this pane so that we stay with this. Okay, so we have done for fertilizer, we have done it for ox. Now we are coming to the next one. We are adding 2 more here. One is wheat, which wasn't there at the beginning, and another one that we are adding is flour. All right. So wheat, how much is it that was given as on 31st March by Ivan to the Baron? It is 223. Right? Is it 223? Is it
Yes, ma'am.
223? Yes?
Yes, yes.
Yes. And how about flow? Is there any value of flow that is left? In case of I1, it says
He has not paid 3 bushels to owner.
yeah, we will consider that. Right now I'm writing for assets. It says, my lord, I present you with a slightly used ox, and then it says a plow broken beyond repair. So basically the value of plow in this case is 0. Right? We will surely come to the liabilities and equity side. Right now, I am writing only about the resources given. Okay. So let me just add them up. I have written all the resources that were given. Right. So taking all this into consideration, this is my total of assets. This was opening and this is closing. Is this side all right with all of us? Are these values all right? The 100, the zeros for seed and fertilizer, ox 36, wheat 223, plow 0. Are these values all right with us? We're just giving values of all these resources. All right. Is this fine? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So there's only one yes that is coming. Kindly rest of you also please respond. Okay, Lakshya, thank you so much. Okay, so let's look at now in this case, it very clearly said, I unfortunately paid the plow maker 3 bushels of wheat. Right? So in liabilities for this gentleman over here, he owes 3. Right? So if I add a column here, okay, and I say for him, payable to payer is 3. So that's the liability he has. Okay. And how much was the beginning capital that we had? We had a capital worth if you remember it, we had a capital worth, we had written it over here, where we calculated the total was 162. So 162 is the capital Baron's equity at the beginning. When he started the business, this was what he contributed to the business. Right? Now, what is happening is I have total of assets as 359. And over here, if you see the total, it is 165. All right? So what is it that is not given over here? Let me just write that down. We'll just write balancing figure for now, and then we'll discuss this figure in the coming time. Okay. So going by our concept, this is assets.
Good teacher.
This is liabilities. And this is part of net worth. This is also part of net worth. I'm not giving it a name. I will give it a name in a while. Calculating this value, this minus this minus this. Okay. So the difference between the two sides, I'm just writing it down, giving it a green color. This I will explain further. So 359 is what I got on both the sides by taking the consideration that A is equals to L plus C. All right. So going back again to my presentation where I was, this is what I'd shown it to you. And with this list, I'm preparing a closing balance sheet. And this is what I've just prepared for Ivan. All right. Have a look at this.
Yes, sir.
If this is making sense, please confirm it to me. Seed 0, fertilizer 0, ox 36, land 100, wheat 223. Flow is 0, total is 359. Baron's equity to start with was 162. Liability written as 3. And I've written this as a balancing figure for now. I will clarify about this in a while a little more. Okay. So 194 there and the total is 359 on both the sides. Is this okay with all of us? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, kindly say yes or no if this is fine, and then we'll prepare a balance sheet for Frederick. Is this fine? Yes? Lakshya says yes. Rest of the people also kindly confirm very quickly.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes.
Yes? Yes. Pragya, is this all right with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So let's, now that we've prepared this, okay, on the same Excel, can we prepare the balance sheet for Frederick? Otherwise, let me just do one thing. I will keep sharing this one. And you very quickly, same items, just write the values in your notebooks. Or if you're doing it on Excel, write it on Excel, please, for all of them. All these items, write their values for Frederick now. We have done it for Ivan, do it for Frederick, please. Will seed be 0? Yes. Will fertilizer be 0? Yes. Will ox be 36? Yes. Will land be 100? No, it will be 50. How much will be the wheat? Write it down on your own, please. How much will be flow? That's a question you need to answer. Yes.
shall we take the same value for Plo without any depreciation?
In case of how Plo is different for Ivan and Frederick is, in case of Ivan, they're very clearly written, the Plo is broken beyond repair. So if something is broken and you cannot repair it, it means the value is 0. But in case
Yes.
of Frederick, it very clearly says, I believe that the Plo is good enough for 2 more seasons. So now apply the concept of depreciation the way we have done it for Ox on Plo and write it down very quickly. Think what it will be. In any case, I'm going to help you with that, but I want you to give it a try first. What will be the value of Plo in case of Frederick? Two questions. One is this. Another is, does Fred owe to Fader? Answer these two questions, please. No, he doesn't owe. All right, Pawan, that's correct. And what is the value of Plo for Fred? Value 2. Okay, how did you arrive at 2, Pavit? Can you explain that?
I think it's 3 for 3 years. So 1 year it
Absolutely.
would be 1. So remaining 2 years are there. For that's why I calculated
Perfect
2.
answer there. Perfect answer. So 3 was the value of Plo at the beginning. Okay, I'm writing it down over here in the chat window. Right. 3 value. Is there any attendance link? I think Madhavi will be able to answer that question. I will connect you with Madhavi in a while. Just let me complete this, please. 3 is a value of Plo at the beginning. And it says life is 3 years. Okay. Current plus
Yes.
2 more. Okay. That makes it 3 years life. Fine. So when you have 3 years life and you've used it for 1 year, so 3 divided by 3 will give you depreciation for 1 year, which is 1 in this case, which is very correctly pointed out by Pawan. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So 3 is original cost. Cost minus depreciation, which will be equal to the book value of the asset. Okay. So which in this case, the Plo value for Frederick is going to be 2.
2.
Are we all good with this? Yes or no? Pragya, is this fine? Kindly confirm if this is fine with all of us. Anuj, is this fine with us?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So, okay, so now, now that we know the value of Plo also for Frederick, and we know the value of rest of the assets, and how is this balance sheet different from Ivan's balance sheet? Two major differences. One, in one case, one asset is still there, and another big difference is Frederick owes money. All right, whereas Ivan doesn't owe money. All right. So let's have a look at this. The balance sheet for Frederick. Here you are. It looks like this: 36, as we've already discussed, land 50, wheat 105, flowers 2, totals up to 193. And you can notice here he doesn't owe money, so zero liability, and rest is all his net worth. So we can safely say 193 is the net worth. Are we all right with these two balance sheets that I've shown for Ivan and Frederick? Is this okay with all of us? Any questions, please ask me right away, because then I'm going to start with yet another financial statement with the same case, okay? We've just prepared basic balance sheets, opening and closing for Ivan and Frederick. Any questions so far?
Ma'am, can you share the screen again for Frederick?
Of course, I will just do that. Here you are. I hope this is visible.
Yes.
Yeah. This is for Frederick. And as I said, I'm going to explain balancing figure, in a while with yet another numbers which we will use. So if you've not understood 92, hold on to that. It will be explained to you. Okay.
Okay.
Is this fine? Are these two balance sheets all right with all of us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, one thing I want to ask.
Yes, please.
In the paragraph, it was mentioned that he has already paid 3 bushels to the plow maker. So where
Yeah.
we have considered that?
So once we've already paid, there is no liability. But yes,
Okay.
we will surely, Pavit, consider this 3 and the amount of wheat that the owner has taken from both of them, 20 and 30 respectively, in a while. We are going to do that. So
Okay. Okay.
3, 20 and 30, which we have not considered anywhere so far, we are surely going to consider it. Fine?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, sure. ma'am.
Okay. So is this all right? Pending questions, I remember it very well that I am to explain what are we doing with 20 withdrawn by owner, by Baron, 20 and 30. This we are yet to consider. We have not done anything about it. And what do we do with 3 paid to paid? These are my pending things. I'm going to cover this also, right? We're going to take that up. I hope the opening and the closing balance sheets are fine. We are left with half an hour. So very quickly now, let's go back to, I'm going back to my Excel sheet, which I started with earlier on, used this one, right? And you'd already attended Professor Malhotra's session. And you told me A is equals to, let me just open another one so that we don't, yeah. Here you already told me assets are equivalent to liabilities, liabilities plus net worth. This is what you've already know. I'm going to break this net worth further into 2 components, okay? One is capital, and other I'm going to use yet another term called retained earnings, okay? Before I, explain this, so while we talk about net worth of the company, we all know that the owners of the company brings in the capital, okay? As I put it earlier also. So this is borrowed and this is owned. So this is the money that you invested in the organization to start with. You brought in your own money. And when the business started operations, You started making money by selling products or services, all right? So I'm going to further write on this capital, right? And writing plus here, revenue. When you sell, obviously you will receive money. Even if you're selling on credit, you might receive money on a later date. Revenue, and from revenue, let's assume you're a textile firm, so you started selling t-shirts, okay? So when you start selling t-shirts, you will receive here selling of t-shirts. Let's take this as an example, okay? And for this, obviously for this, you will incur expenses, okay? So, there's cotton that you bought, thread that you bought, salaries that you give, all that will happen, okay? So, a huge list, right? I'm just writing few for example. Revenue minus expenses will give you something very, very important for every organization, which is profit. All right. Now, it is your call whether you want to keep all the profit within the organization or you want to distribute a part of it to the people who have given you money. When you distribute your profits, you call it dividends. Okay. So minus dividends for that. Professor Malhotra did teach you about different forms of business organization. Dividends companies pay, okay? But while it comes to a sole proprietorship like Lalaji running his shop, he will just pick out money from his, the box where he's putting all that money of sales and he'll go away. So for him, it is not going to be dividends, it's going to be drawings. Fine. So dividends or drawings. So when you do profits minus dividends, that's the money that is still with the organization. Okay. So profit minus dividend. Okay. Let me write that again. And what do I get when I do all of this? I get retained earnings. So just to explain, put that again into perspective, you are selling t-shirts for, say, 500 rupees. You made the t-shirt for 300 rupees. Okay. So 200 rupees, 500 minus 300 is your profit. If you want to give 10% dividend, of this profit you want to distribute. So 500 minus 300, 200 of which you've given 20 as dividend. So 200 minus 20 will give you 180. So part of that earnings which the organizations retains with itself for future expansion, for running of the organization, for their working capital requirement is called retained earnings. And while you talk about net worth comprises of both, that is contributed capital, the money that the owners brought in, plus the profit that you've made on that and retained with the organization. So these two, when you add up, will become this, that is net worth. Okay. So again, writing the equation which Malhotra sir has already given to you, A is equivalent to L plus C plus R minus E. And these are, our most used terms in accounting. So I am going to put certain brackets so that we know that this is what we are going to do with the retained earnings out here. So this is going to be my expanded accounting equation. A is assets, L are liabilities, C is capital, R is revenue, E expenses, and D is dividends or drawings. Now, what we are going to do is, of this particular part, the equation that I've written, I'm going to take only one part, that is R minus E minus D. And what will I prepare with that? It is called profit and loss statement, okay? Because I prepare a separate statement to judge the performance of an organization. All right. For that, I'm going to write revenue, write all expenses, calculate profit. Am I distributing something? Yes. There's no compulsion to distribute, by the way. Okay. It's not compulsory by act of law that you give dividends. It's absolutely company's choice. But good companies do it because they want to have that reputation with their shareholders also. So we are going to prepare now this for Baron. Okay. So let's very quickly prepare revenue minus expenses minus dividends for Ivan and Frederick. To start with, let me just write the revenue and help you with this. In case of Ivan, okay, I'm doing it for Ivan. Here we are, because he's a farmer, we are going to talk about wheat production. So how much in all did he produce for this particular season? How much did he produce in all? Did he produce 223 or did he produce more than that? 223 is what we've taken earlier. Huh?
223. 223.
Did he produce 223 Pavit? Didn't he give 20 to the owner?
Sorry, ma'am.
Didn't he give 20 bushels of wheat? It says, you will also remember, my lord, that you took 20 bushels of my harvest for your personal use. So how much did he produce for the whole season?
203.
243.
43, no?
223 plus 20. Right? Sorting a column. 243 is the wheat production by Ivan. And now let's look at what are the expenses that he incurred to produce this wheat. Okay.
Ma'am?
Yes, please.
It could be 223 minus 20. Why it is plus 223 plus?
So he says, okay, very good question. He says, I present you with a slightly used ox and 223 bushels of wheat. As on last day, he is returning 223. And he said, you've already taken 20.
Okay, got it, got it.
So then it becomes 223 plus 20. Is it okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now let's list down all the expenses that they have incurred. Okay. So let's start with seeds. Did we consume any seeds for this production? Yes or no? Has he used any seeds? And how much worth of seeds were consumed?
20 bushels.
20 bushels of wheat. Perfect. How about fertilizer?
Revenue, idiot.
In this case, actually, it being farming, I have just written that it is wheat production, fertilizer. Okay, 2 bushels worth of fertilizer was used by Ivan. And did he use ox? Ox and plow are the other things.
4.
Yes. Ox for this year? Absolutely. I'm happy that you said 4. And then there was a plow usage also. In this case, plow usage was 3. He broken beyond repair. Any other kharcha that you are aware of that he has done? Any other expense? If not, then we will just add these expenses and we'll say these are my production expenses. Fine. 29. So now if I calculate profit, what will it be? It will be the difference between the revenue and expenses. 243 minus 29 will give me profit. And now we'll use D. How much did the owner withdraw? He's taken 20 bushels of wheat already. Right? So, if I talk about retained earnings now, applying that concept of profit minus drawings, this minus this, 194 is my, there's a spelling mistake, which I will correct. Retained earnings here. So 214 minus 20, 194. And this is my total production expenses. Are we going fine with this so far? Is all this making sense? If yes, say yes. If no, say no, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Yes? Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
now let's do the same exercise for Frederick. Okay. So let me just bring this closer so that I can start inserting values for Frederick. Now tell me, how much should I write for wheat production for Frederick? Give me a number. Should I write 105, 135, 138? What should I write? I'm giving you hints right now.
105.
105? No, it's not 105. So let me just write that down over here. So 105 is what he returned on the closing date, plus the owner took 30, plus,
135.
and he has also given 3 to Fader.
138.
138. Yes, now you got it. It is 138. 105, repeating it, 105 given towards the end by Fader to Baron, not Fader, Frederick to the Baron. 30 already taken by the Baron. 3 given to the Fader. So kitna production ho gaya? 105 plus 30 plus 3, which gives you 138. Fine. And now the way we have listed over here the expenses, let's do it for this gentleman also. Okay.
This is,
Yes, please. Go ahead.
is this revenue we calculate 138?
Yeah.
R, it is value of R?
Yeah, it is the value of R.
Okay.
This is R. Okay. So now I'm going to list the expenses the way we have done it for Ivan. We are going to do it for Frederick. So seeds were 10. Yes. Fertilizer was 1. Right. What is this? 1. Okay. And ox usage was 4. And our flow usage in this case, if you remember, was 1. Fine. And if we add this up, the expenses, let us see how much have we got. We've got 16 as our expenses. 10 repeating is for seeds. 1 is for fertilizer. Ox we've used it for what? 4, and plow we've used it for 1. All right. And the difference between the wheat production and production expenses will give us our profit. And we know that the Baron took 30. And so retained earning is going to be 122 minus 30. So 92. is 194 and 92 all right with us? Is there anything that needs to be explained further? Please ask me. I'm going to explain that. Okay. Meanwhile, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the terms that I have used. Revenue is R. E, the total that we have used here, expenses. This E is expenses, R minus E. This is my P, which is profit. This is my D, which is drawings or dividends, right? And this is my RE. Giving it all the same color, here it is. $194 and $92. Now, let's go back to our presentation. If you remember it, I had written balancing figure over here, right? And look at the amount. It is going to be the same amount that I have calculated with the help of the P&L account, right? I'll just share it again. Okay. So this balancing figure is basically, if I change it now that you've calculated it, it is retained earnings. We just calculated this 92, and over here also we calculated this 194. Fine. And this is what we prepared. Have a look at this. We have prepared statement of profit and loss, which is also called income statement, by using the concept of R minus E minus D. Right? So now you know how to prepare a basic balance sheet and a basic P&L. Right? Am I right by saying so, that now you know how to prepare these two?
Yes, ma'am.
So no matter whichever area you're from, a basic understanding of financial statements is needed. Let you be from marketing or HR, from IT or anywhere. While you talk about any company, you should be able to read the basic balance sheet and P&L. My colleague, Professor Ankur Kulshresht, will further build on this and will add a lot of information to these items, because obviously it is going to be slightly more detailed. So we started with these two basics right now. Okay.
And from this, can we conclude that Ivan performed better in terms of
no,
retained earnings?
we cannot say that just on the basis of the absolute figure,
Okay.
right? So what we'll do is we will now work on these numbers. You've prepared the P&L and balance sheet. You will quickly do a quick analysis to comment on who has done better. All right? How can we comment on that? So let's go back again on the Excel sheet that we were working on. Okay. We know their production is 243 and 138. So let's calculate this ratio. 243 divided by 138. This one, Ivan produced 1.76 times more than Frederick. Okay. But he was also given 2 times the land. Ivan was given double the land as compared to Frederick, but he has produced 1.76 times. This shows at least this particular ratio, which is, let me just get some space so that we can see all this in one go. So if I talk about production, Frederick seems to be better than I1 when we compare the ratios of these two. Fine.
Yes.
What else can we calculate like this? I did one. If you can help me with calculation of others.
Retained
What else?
earning can be compared.
Retained earning. Rather than retained earning, wouldn't it be wise to compare the profit?
Yeah, profit.
Right? Because retained earning, there's another component of drawings, which doesn't impact our efficiency. Our efficiency is impacted more by profits, right? How much profit did we earn? That is more important for us. All right. So 214 and 122. Now 214, this, how much land did I use for this? 20 acres. And this one I used 10 acres. This profit I made on 20. If I can write 20 here just for, and this I used 10. So can I say this profit divided by these acres of land gives me 10.7, and similarly this divided by, so what is this giving me? Profit per acre. So for comparison, you must know that we do not just base our decision on absolute numbers, we calculate ratios, right? So which will help me then form an opinion and do the comparison, because these two are different size companies. One is double the size, the other, right? So profit per acre, again, Frederick is better. Here also Frederick was better. What else can you calculate with the help of this?
Liability.
Liabilities wise, okay. Liability only one has. That is I1. Frederick doesn't have any liability. Okay. What else?
I mean, is profit to expenses ratio relevant?
Absolutely. I was waiting for this one. We can also see how much profit are we making on sales. Produce करा 243 profit हुआ है 214, right? So 214 divided by 243. And similarly, can I calculate for this one? Of course. Profit is 122 and total was 138. So let me increase the decimal for this one so that we can do the comparison. And bring this one down. Okay. And let's convert this into percentage. Again, Frederick is better. This is our profit to sales ratio. Margin ratio जिसको बोलते हैं. तो फिर Frederick better हो गया. अभी तक whatever we have calculated, it looks like Frederick is better. Right? But do you think that there are certain reasons wherein we must support I1? If you look at ox, very important point. Though I1 was given double size of the land, he was still given one ox to work with. And also he is handling this responsibility single-handedly. Right? So I1 in that case, there is some kind of injustice we have done with him by just providing one ox and one person. That is he himself. These two are provided for double size of the land. Right? So going by this, comparing. So while we do the comparison, which I'm sure you do it in your classes as well, we do not do the comparison just on the basis of quantitative information. We also look at the qualitative aspects. So what is a qualitative aspect here? That the distribution of work is not equal. which is fine, but then the distribution of resources is also not same. We have followed 2:1 for seed, wheat, right? Seed and fertilizer, but we did not follow the same for ox and also for plow. That's why Ivan's plow was broken beyond repair, whereas Frederick's plow, there's still life left, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? But if we just compare the numbers, we can see that the Frederick is doing better. But we must raise these questions. What if Ivan was given 2 oxes and 2 plows? Will his performance, will the production be more? We don't know. Case doesn't provide that. But we must raise these questions. All right. So, very nicely, this puts across how we use financial statements along with hidden details in the case to arrive at a conclusion which person or which department or which company is doing a better job. Is this all right with all of us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Any questions? It's already 1:43, so I don't want to raise more. Okay. We have lunch break from 1:45 to 2:45. So in 2 minutes, I need to leave you for the lunch break. I'm getting messages from the FDP department of BIMTech that I need to leave on time. So if you have any questions, please raise it with me here right now. Okay, and it says the attendance, somebody was trying to figure it out. Attendance is automatically recorded by Zoom, so we don't, do it separately, we don't separately record it. It's an automatic thing that keeps happening. Can you please share the PPT? Of course, I will share the PPT. It will be emailed to you. Yes. I hope you've understood the basic construction. My purpose here for these 2 hours was that a person who's from non-finance background understand how this balance sheet and profit and loss statement is made. I hope I have achieved that purpose. If you can confirm yes or no, that would be nice.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Sure.
Yes? Yes, ma'am. All right. So I'd like to close it here. Thank you very much for your time.